Hey everybody, happy holidays. This is Will from DevGrabber. Welcome to another DevGrabber training video. And today, in this time of season, we've decided that we're going to do something for developers and candidates out there that might be on the market, maybe now, maybe later, but really classically from an industry perspective, this is when people kind of like start looking around or assessing their situation. So if you're a developer, if you're an engineer, and you've got recruiters calling you, these are some really good questions to ask, all right? At the end of the day, your time is money. If you've got a good background, if you're accessible, and heck, everybody's accessible with AI and LinkedIn and whatnot, so who knows who's on whose radar, you want to be able to have some sort of a nice kind of a soft wall for the people that may or may not take up your time, depending if you allow them. Okay, there's some great recruiters out there. There are some less than good recruiters, and you want to make sure that you're maximizing these relationships, okay? So let's get started. So number one, really simple. What kind of a recruiter are you? And there's really only a couple types that are going to be calling y'all that write code for a living. Number one is going to be corporate. I think we all know what a corporate recruiter does. They work at the company they're representing. Okay, so it's great from that perspective because they know the company. So if you have questions, they actually chose to work there themselves. You can ask them the reasons behind that. They know the jobs really well. They've got manager access. They've got operational knowledge. They know the comp plan. Okay. Also, y'all understand that if you are on the phone with a corporate recruiter, you are on an interview. That is how it works, okay? So especially if it's a brand that you kind of care about, be on your best behavior and give some good answers right out of the gate. All right, so corporate recruiters, absolutely wonderful. Agency recruiters, very different than corporate recruiters. This is the world that I came from before I started DevGrabber. And agencies, for maybe some of you new grads or people that don't really know the model, agencies recruit for money, okay? Nothing wrong with that. We are a capitalist society, that's cool. Agency recruiters are great because they're very, very performance driven. You know, again, you can be a good person and be pursuing performance and wealth and want to build teams and want to make placements. And if you do that well, you get comped more for that. Okay, so a lot of these folks are performance driven. So yeah, they really are motivated to get you that next job if it's something that you want. Okay, agency folks are going to have a variety of different jobs. It's probably the best differentiator between them and corporate. You know, as agencies represent a lot of corporations, so if you get a good relationship with an agency recruiter, then they're going to be able to bring you more of a volume, hopefully, of what you want than typically a corporate recruiter can. All right, the different flavors of agency recruiters. Obviously, you've got the recruiters. They're focused on working on the job and filling that. You've got the account managers, and you very well may talk to them. Especially if it's a little white glove treatment and it's a really important role that's client facing. Account managers brought the job in. They've got the relationship with the client, so that's a great person to ask questions specifically about the job. You've got the full desk warriors, okay? God bless these people. I am technically one of them for sure. And full desk recruiters actually go out there and they build the client relationships and they go out there and they find the open jobs and the clients that need servicing, and then they go out and they fill the jobs themselves. A lot of the times with the team behind them, okay, for, you know, to add to their effort, okay? But the bottom line is a full desk person has that client knowledge. They usually know the hiring manager, they know that process well as understand the job because they're the ones that defined it. You've got executive recruiters. So if you're at the management side of your career, if you're a manager, if you're a director, a VP, a C-level, really good relationship to have if people are focusing just on leadership jobs. Okay, you've got VMS recruiters, all right? That stands for Vendor Management System. That's a very tough world, all right? The largest corporations in the world use these vendor management systems. So Verizon, AT&T. It's basically a huge layer of complexness, I'm going to make up a word, that helps, quote unquote, giant companies fill jobs. It's tough to navigate, so if you want to make sure that you can actually hear about jobs at these giant companies, it's good to have a relationship with a VMS-bound recruiter that works that system regularly. All right? Number two, what kind of jobs do you fill? Another no-brainer. All right? If someone's giving you a call, I want to know what kind of jobs do you fill? Okay? Software, that'd be great. There's not a ton of recruiters out there that specialize just in software. We do at DevGrabber just because software is hard. It's tough enough to succeed if you're working other jobs, so we just focus on development jobs. You might be working with general IT recruiters, okay? I would say the lion's share of the people calling you from the agency side are going to be general IT recruiters, all right? A lot of them choose to run a specific desk in software and specialize in that, and that's really smart. But the person that's calling you may likely also be looking for a business analyst or a product manager or a customer support supervisor. You know, because it's general IT, they don't just work software jobs, all right? Perm, if you're only looking for perm, this is another no-brainer. You want to have relationships with recruiters that are focused on perm jobs. And most of the time, unless it's a small recruiting company, the business models, we're going to separate the people working on the perm jobs and the contract to hire. So again, if this is your only pursuit, you can make sure that this is something that you're going to actually be able to bring you. Contract to hire, for a lot of different reasons. You might be pursuing this. Maybe you're not able to pursue a W-2 job right now. Okay, maybe you have your own LLC, or maybe you're a contractor. You're looking for that max contractor money. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so obviously between perm, contract to hire, you want to figure out really what that recruiter on the other side of the phone is kind of specializing in. Local, national, global, pretty much says, you know what it says. Local people are going to be effective because they know your area, all right? They know the market. National recruiters are great to know, especially if they can bring you a lot of really cool remote stuff. Because of COVID, that's becoming the norm. So, you know, I know when I was on the job hunt back in the day, I definitely wanted to learn about stuff that might not just be in my local state. And global. Tough job, global. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, number 3, third and last question to ask a recruiter when they're calling you. And this is really something that you should ask to see if you're going to kind of put them on their heels or not. All right? A good recruiter is going to have an answer to this question. They're going to be able to rattle it off right away. What do you like about my background? Why are you calling me? Okay? And there's a variety of different answers. You know, if I'm probably calling you, if Will from DevGrabber is leaving you a voicemail, it's probably because you're using a specific technology. Or maybe you're a generalist in a certain area of technology. That's really kind of what we focus on. Maybe it's the market. Maybe, hey, you write code in DFW. All my clients are here, so we need to talk. All right? Maybe it's a domain or industry specialization. This is pretty common in recruiting. Healthcare with all their compliance and stuff, you know, finance and fintech, okay? Very complex business rules. So once you've understood them and once you've been in that domain, you've got some value there. So it very well may be that a recruiter's calling you because you're a healthcare person and you've been in that domain for a while. Also, pedigree. A lot of the reasons I reach out to people is just pedigree. Hey, you've worked at some good companies, you've worked with some good people, you went to some great schools, you went to some good programs, yada, yada, yada. If you've got a good background, and especially if it matches up with the tech in the market, I'm going to usually try to get that developer on the phone. So that's it, y'all. If you would like to have a PDF version of this, to have it at the ready when recruiters call, then shoot me an email at will@devgrabber.com. And as usual, if there's anything I can do for any developers or engineers out there on the job market, just holler at me in general. I'd love to help. Again, everybody be safe and have happy holidays.